First off, just kind of in the news, I guess it's at the top of the news right now, Hunter Biden's trial. Well, Hunter Biden went to court today, and everybody expected him to cop a plea deal, and it looks like that's blown up. We'll see what shakes out from this. It's in flux right now. Also, how Donald Trump's new big lie-filled fascist ad is damaging to our democracy. Also, the Auschwitz Museum responds to Fox News' Greg Gutfeld. Is he listening? I don't know. And Texas A&M professor is suspended for criticizing the lieutenant governor. Say what? Or I believe it was Dan Patrick, the attorney general. In the second hour of the program, we were warned the ocean currents are changing. Plus, just how hot is the water in Florida? This is not good news. We have a crazy alert. Is deep fake AI becoming one with our politics and culture? There's now a reality TV show torturing couples with deep fakes of their partners cheating. This is disgusting, right? Or what does this say about our society? And also in the second hour, our unions are winning. The Teamster victory, as it were. I've got the details. I'll share them with you in the second hour of the program. In the third hour of our program, Julie Milliken of Media Matters is going to drop by. Is Fox News an unindicted co-conspirator in Trump's crimes? Also, Rudy Giuliani has conceded that he participated in the big lie against Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. We'll talk about that. And Steve Bannon is a criminal who hangs out with criminals. Why does he still have a popular podcast? So, a lot to talk about today. I want to start out with my rant from the Hartman Report. This is a truly amazing story. First off, Franz Hippler was a German filmmaker, and in fact, he collaborated with Leni Riefenstahl on a movie called The Eternal Jew, and he also did one called Campaign in Poland, which justified the invasion of Poland. And he said that basically there's a two-step process necessary to promote a big lie. He said the first is to reduce an issue to a simple black and white choice that, as he said, quote, even the most feeble-minded could understand. And then the second part, he said, is to, quote, repeat the oversimplification over and over again. And, you know, we're seeing this all over the place in the GOP. I mean, it's really, and this is not, frankly, something that's incredibly new. I mean, it's been around for a long, long time, but it is getting really, really nasty. Sean, I'm going to play some audio out of my computer here. This is an ad for Donald Trump, a new ad for his campaign. And just consider all the lies that basically every statement here is presupposed on a big lie. And these big lies are not small lies. You know, big lie about the January 6th being a false flag operation, a big lie about COVID being a false flag operation, a big lie about the Ukrainians being Nazis, a big lie. I mean, it just goes on and on. Just listen to this. This is incredible.
If I was the deep state and I wanted to destroy America, I would rig the election with a puppet candidate.
That's Joe Biden they're talking about there, right?
One that was so compromised that they would never say a word about it. I would create a false flag that allows for mail-in ballots.
Right, the false flag being the COVID emergency.
I would be in charge of the ballot counting machines. I would create a false flag to blame all who question the results of the election.
That would be the video that they're showing of that is of the Capitol riot on January 6th.
If I was the deep state, I would prosecute anyone that went against me.
Right, this is now Jack Smith, right?
I would sue and prosecute anyone that spoke up about the fraudulent election.
Yeah.
I would use my powers to shut down all your internet businesses and bankrupt you.
Yeah, this is you know, people who are selling ivermectin online and stuff like that.
If I was the deep state, I would make everyone an example why you should never question a Democrat ever winning an election. I would imprison my foes.
Yeah, this is a picture of Donald Trump as he's being arraigned in New York State for business fraud.
I would use my corrupt DAs and blackmail judges to destroy you.
And then there was a picture of Alvin Bragg and Fonnie Willis and Jack Smith.
I would make sure all crimes I ever committed never happened. I would prosecute my biggest competition. I would make sure they could never run for office ever again.
All right, then that's a picture of Trump indicted, right?
If I was the deep state, I would convince everyone that Ukraine Nazis were good and women are men.
Right. Attacking trans people and saying that Ukraine is full of Nazis, right?
If I was the deep state, I would own every politician that mattered. If I was the deep state, I would push my pedophilia ambitions on you. If I was the deep state, you'd question your sexual identity, but not the medical establishment.
There's a picture of Anthony Fauci, and they had just shown some drag queens a moment before when they were talking about pedophilia, which is, again, one of the sickest lies out there.
If I was the deep state, you would fear to ever resist me. If I was the deep state, you would wish I was really the devil. If I was the deep state, I would say mission accomplished.
And then it goes to, the logo, and it says, Trump, Make America Great Again 2024. I mean, this is friggin' nuts. But this is, a classic big lie. It's actually a sequential big lie. This is a classic big lie strategy. Like I said, as Hitler's propagandists did with his invasion of Poland and with his attacks on Jews. These guys are pushing nakedly fascist policies, tropes, and memes. And frankly, I think that where this started in a big way, I mean, we had some big lies back in the day, right? Nixon's war on drugs was actually, as John Ehrlichman told Dan Bloom, the reporter, was actually an attempt to go after the anti-war hippies and black people. He said they are our enemies, but you can't outlaw that, so we criminalized drugs. And then we could, disrupt their communities. That was pretty much a verbatim quote from Ehrlichman. And, we've had, and then, George Herbert Walker Bush and the Willie Horton ad was arguably a big lie. But then George W. Bush, and this is where I think this started. I think this is when the Republican Party, again, you could argue that the trickle-down economics was a big lie too. Reaganism, and that if we ship our jobs to China, it'll increase prosperity. That was a big lie. But those were like smaller versions of big lies, and maybe just arguably bad economics. But in 2001. And 2002, George W. Bush and Dick Cheney lied us into 2 illegal wars that led to the death of thousands of Americans and millions of Iraqis and Afghan citizens. And they never suffered any consequence for those big lies. Both of these guys are still walking around loose. They're both still highly regarded in the Republican Party. They're both still multi-millionaires, 100 millionaires. Richer than you'll ever imagine being. And so I think the GOP looked at that and said, hey, if Bush and Cheney can get away with this, we can get away with this.